Hi friends, glad you're here with me again, and I truly cannot wait to share this video with you. This is my 6 months results using the iRESTORE red light therapy device. It looks like a helmet. They don't like me to call it that, but that is really what it is. It says iRESTORE right there, and I've used it for 6 months, and all except for when we just went to Colorado for 4 days. I did not take this with me, but I've used it every other day for 25 minutes for over 6 months, just over 6 months, and I'll be showing you the results of that. But before I get into it, hair thinning is something that all of us, as we get to be a little older, we deal with. They say something like 75% of women have thinning hair. And I always thought that we escape that as women. I thought, oh, the poor guys, they lose their hair, how awful. At least I only have to deal with wrinkles and saggy skin. Well, unfortunately, once I hit about 60, I realized that my once thick hair, well, my hair was never thick, but it was never thin. It looked good. It looked normal. But at 60, it started to get to where I had kind of thin hair, especially around my temples and the crown area. And while my hair would really grow quickly, it has always grown quickly, it was getting thinner and thinner and thinner because I just had less of it growing out of the top of my head. And in just a few minutes, I'll be sharing my 6 months results with you. But first, let me tell you a little bit about this iRESTORE laser hair growth device. There are like 280 red lights and LEDs in here, absolutely scientifically proven to regrow hair. They did a study with many women and men, and after 4 months, 100% of people said this little device did cause them to regrow hair, which is wonderful. The reason I started using it is that I saw a video that Dr. Dray made, and I'll link it below. And for those of you who don't know who Dr. Dray is, you really need to find her channel. She's a fantastic dermatologist, very well respected, and she totally supports red light therapy as a proven way to grow hair. But more importantly, she said of all the devices out there, and she's reviewed many of them, this is her absolute favorite. I saw that video and I made a comment under the video that I would love to try it, and I was so happy that the iRESTORE people reached out to me because quite honestly, they are giving me this device for free. This is absolutely wonderful. I'm so happy about that. But I'd already decided that after I'd seen Dr. Dray's video, I didn't care how much it cost, I was going to buy it because you can't put a price on hair growth. And I've used this now for 6 months and done quite a bit of research on red light therapy and hair growth. And the thing about hair growth is, if you're just starting to thin, this is the perfect time to start using a red light therapy device like the iRESTORE, because here's how it works. Basically, when your hair starts to thin, those follicles are becoming miniaturized, they're becoming more baby follicles, and eventually, unless you do something to rev them up and get them going again and growing again, they will stop growing and fall out of your head, and they can never be replaced by a growing hair follicle at that point. So the whole trick on dealing with hair loss is to get it in the very beginning stages or not too far along. Now, for those of you who are totally bald, it even says it on their website, this will not help you. So if you're totally bald all over your head, don't get this device because it won't work. But if you're just starting to thin, as I was, this is the perfect time to invest in the iRESTORE device. And it is an investment, there's no doubt about it. But to me, spending a little money to ensure that I have hair now and when I'm 70 and when I'm 80 is a wonderful thing and well worth the money. And I'd actually had good results on another device. It was kind of a laser band device. But the problem with that for me is that some people are sensitive to red lights, and I am one of those people. And so while that device did cause my hair to regrow, which was wonderful, it also gave me pigment along my forehead, which I did not like. And in fact, the reason I wanted this unit was it is just not a band here. It goes clear over your head. It starts here and goes clear over your head. And for me personally, the design of this with the front here meant that I could put a piece of blue construction tape on my forehead when I was using this, so it kept me from getting hyperpigmentation here. And chances are you will not have that problem. In fact, red light therapy is proven to reduce wrinkles and in some people to reduce hyperpigmentation. I just happen to be very olive skin, and I'm one of those people who just tends to pigment. So for me, this was a problem, but this is the perfect design for me. And another reason that I really prefer this unit over the band that I used is that the band just covers about this much of your hair. This does get all over your hair, and one of the problems I had was not just thinning at the temples, My whole head of hair overall was getting thinner and thinner and thinner, and I was thinking, well, I better cut my hair because I am not able to grow thick hair anymore. And this device for me is a solution to that. It's absolutely wonderful. And for the past 6 months, with the exception of my recent vacation to Colorado, I took my family to Colorado to ski for 4 days. It was really fun. And I did not take this unit with us because I had all 4 of us in the car and all of our luggage. And Ellen said, no, you can't take it, which made me very sad because other than those 4 days where I did not use this unit, I used it every other day for 25 minutes, as did my husband, Alan. And I have had beautiful results with this. And I'll link the other 2 videos I've done on this below. The first is my introduction video. The second is my 3 months results video. And I had great results at 3 months. And that was even after a little bit of a scare early on, because about a month into using this, I started to lose a little patch of hair right here. And here's a picture of that. As you can see, my hair really got thin. In fact, I've got a little bald place there. And I was so worried about that at the time that I emailed my contact, Lauren, and I said, you know, I'm getting a bald patch after using this for a month, and I'm really considering not using it. And she explained to me that what this does is that it increases the cycle of growth on your hair. And if you happen to be in a great growth phase, you know, it's going to grow right away. But if you happen to be in a shedding phase, which we all go through shedding phases, it can hasten that up too. And apparently I was just about to go through a shedding phase, and that's what happened here. But I stuck with it and I kept using it, and I am so glad that I did, because now that bald patch is all filled in and I have beautiful results. Now, before I show you the results, if you're not a subscriber and you're interested in all those things that help us look our best and feel our best as we get to be a little more mature, then I hope you subscribe. And when you click that little bell, that just sends you email notifications of my future videos. And if you could give this video a thumbs up and or share it with a friend, I would love that too. Okay, let me get into my results, and I'll start by showing you my 6-month results on the front of my head. And here they are. There I am. My before picture was August 24th last summer in 2020. And as you can see, I've got a lot of thinning there. And then 3 months later on November 10th, the thinning is filling in just a little bit there. And in the last picture, I took that this morning. As you can tell, the front of my hair is really filling in. It's not as thick as I would like it to be, but it's a heck of a lot thicker than it was 6 months ago. And I can't wait to see what another 6 months will bring in terms of really increasing the thickness of the front of my hair. And when you start the iRESTORE, usually the temples are some of the first places to fill in. The front is pretty good, but my results on the sides were really good. So let me show you here the results on my left side. As you can see, last summer at the end of August, I had a lot of thinning going on my temples there. Everything was really thinning out. And then after 3 months of use, I'm starting to grow little baby hairs there, which totally excited me. And now in this morning's picture, 6 months into treatment, just a little over 6 months, as you can see, I'm getting tons of new growth all along the top of my hairline and especially the sides of my hair. I no longer really have that bald patch that I had on the left side of my temple there. Everything is filling in nicely. And the thing I really like about that is from the first picture to the last, just looking at the hairline, the picture on the far right that I took this morning just looks like a younger woman with thicker, fuller hair. And that is something that is so true. We forget that every part of our body ages, including our hair, so that means that we need to take better care of this part of our hair. But it also means that as we get older, one of the things we need to watch is the thinning of our hair, because once that starts happening, we really need to take measures to take care of that. It's kind of like if you have a strand of grass and you start giving it fertilizer. That's really what the red light therapy is scientifically proven to do. It's scientifically proven to stimulate those hair follicles to start re-pumping out hair as they did when we were younger. But again, if you're totally bald, don't get the iRESTORE device because it won't work for you. And one of the things that is most exciting to me about this device is that if it doesn't work for you, the iRESTORE people give you a year to return this for a full refund, including shipping. But I have to say that for that 1-year guarantee to be honored, you have to purchase this from iRESTORE.com. You can't buy it on Amazon or any place else like that. But if you do buy it from the iRESTORE people, you can use it for a year, and if it doesn't work, you send it back. And to me, that tells you that this device must work, because how could a company stay in business if many people sent back the item that they ordered? And I, for one, even if I had paid for this is an investment for me that is totally worth it, and I will keep using this. Okay, now let me show you the results I had on my right side. Very similar to the results on the left side. In the before picture on August 24th, as you can see, I'm really getting thinning hair there. And really, if you just cover up that eye there, you can imagine that that person may be about 70 because I'm losing so much hair. And now here I am in the middle picture, the 3 months results. And just like the left side before, those little tiny baby hairs are growing in. They are filling in the bald patch that I had on my right temple. And then in the picture this morning, as you can see, the hairs have really grown in. They no longer look like baby hairs. They're looking more like normal hairs. And for the most part, that temple area is much more filled in. And I have to say that if you do order this device, I hope you'll make sure and take a good middle, right, and left picture. Pull your hair back and take that picture, because I think you'll be surprised at the results you have. And it's probably a little bit like some of the skincare that I use. If you don't take a before picture, the changes come on so subtly that you may not be aware anything is happening. But over 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months, you're going to see results, and it's nice to be able to document that, to be able to prove it to yourself, as I have there. And the thing that really surprises me about the before picture and the after picture is, in the before picture, I knew I had thinning hair, but I really didn't think that I looked particularly old, anything like that. But then in the after picture, when I start to get more youthful hair coming in, you do realize that you do look younger when you've got thicker, fuller hair, and especially around the temples, because all of us have sat in church and looked forward to the sea of gray hair, which in my church, there's a lot of gray hair, and a lot of it is very, very thin hair. But I really hope that's not the case for me. I would really like to keep my hair, and I think the iRESTORE for me is a great investment in my future hair growth. And I will say I'm not just using the iRESTORE. They have a hair growth bundle, and here's a picture of it here. It's very highly rated. And I use all of those products. I have the shampoo and the conditioner, and they're kind of grungy because they're in my shower every day. I use these twice a week when I wash my hair. I also swear by these iRESTORE 3-in-1 hair growth formula vitamins. These are particularly good because they're a DHT blocking vitamin. And you know, it's funny, I read a review on these, and one lady said that this was the most reasonably priced DHT blocker that she was aware of out there, and so she really swears by these and loves them too. And what DHT does, it's a male hormone that tends to increase as we age. And this contains saw palmetto, which is a proven DHT blocker that protects your healthy hair. And if you're interested in learning more about the iRESTORE Red Light Therapy hair growth device, there's a link below the video with a wonderful set of discount codes for you. I hope you'll check that out. And again, if you're not a subscriber and you're interested in all things anti-aging, I hope you'll subscribe. And when you click that little bell, that just notifies you of my future videos. And if you could give this video a thumbs up and or share it with a friend, that would be great too. Okay, I always like to leave you with a little thought for the day, and today is no exception. But instead of reading from the cards today, I'm just going to share some of the tips and tricks that I'm learning as I go through my second half. The whole point of this channel is making our second half our best half. And one of the things I've learned is kind of a practical tip. Basically, it is the idea that wherever I go, I always like to leave it just a little bit better than the way it was before I found it. And this idea about improving things in your life just one little step at a time is a wonderful one, because over time, when you make these little tiny improvements in all areas of your life, over time, your life just gets better and better. And I use this principle in 2 different areas mostly. The first is in personal relationships. Anytime I'm speaking with someone on the phone or I'm talking to someone in person, I'm always conscious of the fact that when I leave the conversation, I want to leave them feeling a little better than when they first started talking to me. And I don't want to be fake or anything like that, but if there's some compliment I can give them, if there's some information I could share with them that would benefit them, I try to do that to leave that relationship just a little better than the way I found it a few moments before. And another way I use it is in keeping my house clean. What I do is every time I open a drawer or open the refrigerator, especially, the refrigerator was a big one for me because my refrigerator used to be a total mess. What I do now is that every time I open the refrigerator, I look for one little tiny thing I can improve. Like maybe it's just like straightening the pickle jar, or it's getting off a smudge that has gotten on the wall of the refrigerator, or in a drawer. Maybe it's just before I push that drawer back in, I see that the sunglasses are not in the right bin. So I put them over in the right bin and I shut the drawer. And I do the same thing in my closet, which used to be a total wreck. Every time I leave my closet, I look around and say, you know, what thing is out of order that I can put back in order before I close the door? So friends, if you'd like to try this as you're going through the day, remember the principle to always leave things a little better than you found them. Take care, and I'll see you in my next video.